Well, hello, my fabulous friends. I hope you're doing well. Well, this is a very specific video for a very specific crowd, and it happens to be one I'm interested in, so that's why you're watching it. So, for those of you outside of Canada, you may not know that the Crown is seeking 8 years for Chris Barber and 7 years for Tamara Lich. Now, the charge is mischief. Can you imagine 8 and 7 years? My son's best friend was murdered and he got 11 years and he was out in 4 and he had an education paid for by the taxpayer. This is Tiananmen Square level communism, that you can't speak up against the government. Apparently they've pinned the whole convoy on them, even though they didn't encourage any kind of violence. There wasn't any kind of violence. I saw more violence from Palestinian protesters than I ever saw from the convoy. It's government overreach. I'm going to ask the cards, see if we can figure out who's behind this. Of course, Trudeau would be one of them. He's got long arms in Ottawa still. And it's absolutely disgusting. There is no justice in Canada. There's none. We have no rights. We have no rights to stand up against our government and say, you can't do this. This is wrong. Even a peaceful protest, we aren't allowed. Apparently, though, if you have a foreigner flag and you burn the Canadian flag, apparently that's allowed. Apparently. And you block traffic and you destroy businesses, that's allowed. But have a jumpy castle for the children, and if you honk your horn, oh my Lord. So anyways, I'm going to ask the cards what's going to be the outcome. Their sentencing is on October 7th. So what's going to be the outcome? And see if the cards will let us know who's really behind this. Is it Trudeau? Is it Carney? Does he want to make sure that we don't, stand up to him? Who is it? Who is it? Shall we begin? 8 of Cups. Oh, don't tell me that's 8 years, but that is moving on. That is, something is missing. Knight of Pentacles. Well, that could be Trudeau because he is a Capricorn. This also could be the convoy itself, the Knight of Pentacles. Right here, could that be an RCMP officer on their horses? And I think it was Ottawa police. But obviously the cards don't have an Ottawa police card. And they trampled that poor lady. King of Cups in reverse. Well, that's Carney. He's a Pisces. This is somebody who's really unstable, who's acting emotionally. Somebody who may have a bit of a drinking problem. I'm not saying Carney has a drinking problem, just telling you the archetypes of the King of Cups in reverse. I could be Carney still pushing for it because it's the Crown, right? 5 of Pentacles in reverse. This might be Carney coming in because he came in from the UK. Limping. I think they chased him out of there, to tell you the truth. 3 of Wands, patience. Patience. Something's going to come in. I'm going to say that this has more to do with Carney pushing this and watching and waiting to see what happens. Something is missing, though. Something is missing. Now, this actually is a good card when you're asking about something like this because it shows moving on, moving forward, moving away from. I'm going to say this has more to do with Carney. Even 5 of Pentacles in reverse is somebody who's been out comes back. and especially with him being a banker and money, right? Because he was with the Bank of Canada, he went to the Bank of England, and he came back to the Bank of Canada. He's the King of Cups in reverse here. I think he's the one behind this. He's the one who's really pushing for this. We have to remember Carney's WEF, globalist, the world in reverse. The world was watching it. Absolutely, the world is watching it. The world actually cannot kind of believe what's going on. Also, this is like, being stepped on. Page of Swords, Page of Swords, Page of Words, something on the internet. Exchange of words, the Devil in reverse. Well, there's those evil teeth he's got. I don't like this for them. I really don't. It's like the crown wants to make an example of them, even though the world is watching. I think the world was watching in shock, actually. The Hierophant in reverse. Queen of Wands in reverse. Do we know, is the judge a female? Temperance. Oh, love that. Because that's also peace. Even though I think, according to my cards, and right, do your own research, form your own opinions, I actually think Carney's the one who's pushing this forward. Like in the Hierophant here in reverse, we just had the Christian singer was deplatformed in Canada. Apparently he 6 of his concerts were canceled because they said he's MAGA. Like, honestly, who cares? What is he going to do? Convince Canadians to vote for Trump? I mean, for the love of God, we have freedom of association. Apparently not. The powers that be, the leaders. I like this Temperance card here, though. I think what they're doing is they're creating a lot of brouhaha over this. The mob rules. There's the elbows up crowd. Yeah, this is what the elbows up crowd wants. They're like, the people in Ottawa are just absolutely mentally ill. I'm seriously like mentally ill. The way they said, oh, I was terrified and it was a government coup and it was a bunch of truck drivers honking their horns. I mean, it's not like they had guns and rifles and stomping. Never mind. The Hanged Man in reverse. Oh, I like that. That's release. The Sun in reverse. 2 of Pentacles in reverse. There's the 2 of them. 8 of Pentacles upright. And the Moon. Okay, so there's something very veiled, and I think they're going to be made examples of. I do not believe that they are going to get the 7 and 8 years. I believe that they may make that, like, do community service, the State of Pentacles here, because here we have the Hanged Man and the Sun in reverse and the Moon upright. So there's something very dark about this. There's something very underground about this. There's something very underhanded about this. There's something in the dark we cannot see. And if they want to make examples of them, and their lawyers were showing examples of in 2020, the destruction, the police cars that were put on fire and businesses smashed and disruption to the city of Toronto when the G20 was going on there, and nobody was, or they arrest some people, or like got 21 months or something like that, and they've put a police car on fire. And I think that there's going to be a backroom deal here. I think there's going to be something underhanded. Here's the 2 of Pentacles in reverse and the Sun in reverse and the Hanged Man. I think that the mob can work both ways. The mob can work both ways. So if we get loud, if we get louder than the elbows up crowd, we may get our way. We may get our way. They may get away with like community service, for example. Two of Cups in reverse, Page of Cups in reverse, surprising bread. Seven of Wands in reverse, Ace of Cups in reverse, Nine of Pentacles in reverse. I'm almost getting a feeling that they're going to give more time to Tamara. Because she's the one here who's not successful. There's going to be some tears. I'm going to call it that. There's going to be some kind of backroom deal. They're not going to get 8 and 7 years at all, because the hangman would be upright. The Eight of Swords is jail. There's other cards here that would show. I can't think of them right. Four of Swords, right? Would tell me like they're stuck where they are. We actually have the hangman in reverse. I think they're going to make an example of them, and with the Devil card here, perhaps some kind of charge that sticks with them forever, or that they cannot convene together, or they can't have communication. Like there's going to be something there that sticks with them for the rest of their life. I mean, they're already have something that will stick with them for the rest of their life. But we do have tears, and Page of Cups in reverse, and the Seven of Wands here in reverse tells me their defense is not going to be 100% won. All right. I think they're going to be made some kind of backroom deal. They're not going to be happy with it, but I think something is going on. Eight of Wands, more moving on. We got both moving on cards. Five of Swords in reverse. They're going to be bullied. Queen of Cups and the Ace of Pentacles. Yeah, there's going to be some kind of offer. Ace of Wands in reverse. It's not going to be ideal, but it's going to be better. I think that we're going to see something like they work it off, or I wouldn't be surprised if somehow they get like a book or a movie or something. Some way they're going to make money off of this. Somehow they're going, I know, like you think about all their lawyer costs, all their legal costs and everything. Somehow they're going to recover that with the Eight of Pentacles and the Ace of Pentacles here. I think they're going to be bullied into taking something that isn't ideal, but it's not as bad. This would, if this Ace of Wands rose right up, it'd be like, yes, they're going to beat it. They aren't. Five of Wands, no. Maybe 50%. No, I don't even think they're going to get that much. The Tower. The Tower. Look at, I almost see somebody bringing Tamara away. The Star, Hope and Healing. The Lovers in reverse. Ten of Wands, the big burden. Yeah, guys, I think there's going to be, for some reason, I'm getting that she's going to get more than he does. For I don't know why. I don't know exactly the whole legal words and whatnot. But for some reason, I think she's actually going to get more than him. But it's still going to be much, much less. Much less. I don't know. They might even get like time served kind of thing, right? But there is some way, somehow, they are going to make a lot of money from this. Perhaps by suing, perhaps by writing a book. I don't have the Knight of Swords here, which would be a documentary or a book, but that doesn't mean it's not going to happen. Somebody could be waiting until it's all said and done. I'm getting a feeling, though, that there's going to be, they're going to make money off of it somehow. I'm almost getting a feeling there's going to be something written in there and there's, you know, reduced sentencing, but these two are not allowed to ever have any kind of contact. Not that I'm not saying they're lovers, but you know, they can't convene because they're going to create a mass uprising again or some such thing. There's going to be some ridiculousness tied into it. But yeah, this is all driven by Carney. Carney wants, he's right there. He came up in the first row. Definitely he wants to make sure this is pushed ahead. And if you say, oh, there's no political influence, this is political. Oh, this whole thing is political. The whole thing is political. You don't think there's whispers in ears? Do you want to be a senator? Right? So something, some kind of, I'm getting a feeling this is going to divide the country even further. I think we're going to see two sets of mobs here because we got, look at these two cards. I think we're going to see two sets of people. They're going to be the ones that are for punishment and the ones that are against it. And I think we're going to see even more of that rise up because of this. But Carney definitely wants to make sure that they're made an example of so nobody rises up against him. What a sad communist little world we live in. All right, well, thank you very much for watching and indulging me on a very specific Canadian topic. Please take good care. See you online. Bye for now.